Going the distance with local sports. This is the xSports Network.
See me shine, 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 walking on beams of light, 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 light.
Going the distance with local sports. This is the xSports Network.
And welcome here to the Back Nine once again this week, brought to you by Wohali Sports from Wohali Sports. We got Daniel Creer, Jason Vaughn. Guys, it's good to see you again. Jason, kind of up and moving this time. Don't look like you're in as much pain as you were here a week ago.
Not as much. So we're moving in the right direction. 2 weeks out from surgery, so got flexions doing good. Just a little swelling, so hopefully we'll keep on this track, get back to swinging.
Yeah, and Jason, Daniel's going to be with us just a little bit on the show today. He's going to the most magical place on earth, ditching the kids, him and the wife going to Disney World here in a little bit.
That's right. Looking forward to it. We go every Labor Day every year, and we usually ditch the kids. It's our weekend. It's our anniversary weekend, so it just seemed to make sense. And but we did get a lecture this year. Our kids are getting old enough to understand what's going on. They congregated, and I think they held a private meeting before we sat down for dinner, and then they came in there, and it was interesting. So I kind of agreed with them. It was a little unfair, so we might have to revisit this.
But you're still going to do it anyways. Well, it's the instruction when you guys talk about how people can improve their game. Last week, we talked about what you're looking for when people first come in. Now it's this time this week. It's the second step of what you guys are looking for when you start teaching guys.
Yeah, so I'll go ahead and stand up, and we'll do a couple of demonstrations. So me and Jason will just kind of talk through this. What's really neat about this part of our show is that we don't really prepare for this. This is kind of, we just wing it because that's what we have to do for every lesson. Right. An individual comes in, we really don't know what's going on in their game. Even when you have an individual that comes in on a weekly basis or bi-weekly basis, we don't really know what's going on with them, do we? So the thing is we hope and have expectations for them. We give them drills and things like that, so we kind of hope to see progress. But a lot of times they regress, and we just have to regroup, and it's usually because they set up the training or the practice process maybe a little bit off, and a lot of times they over-exaggerate what we went to, and which can be just as detrimental as the original thing. But today, what we'll talk about is primarily going to be alignment. Very, very important. We'll get into that. And grip. We're going to talk about that and how we test, because everybody's a little bit different. And then we're also going to talk about weight distribution again. We're not really going to talk about the pressure traces and the pressure mats. We wanted to introduce that just to talk about and introduce people to ground forces is all we wanted to do. And now that we understand ground forces, now we're going to look at how we test on how different people should apply them. So Jason, when somebody comes into your bay, what do you typically see and how do you approach them? Pretend that our viewers are first-time lesson getters.
First thing we're going to talk about your alignment, and we're looking at and the grip as well. Those are the first two things, and they can be in either order because we want to make sure that both of those are good. And they tend to, like Daniel was saying, they tend to change in practice. So sometimes if you don't know where you're lined up, you're going to actually regress like you were talking about. So the one thing so let's just start with grip. When I'm looking at somebody's grip, whether you're left-handed or right-handed, always looking for the lead hand, which is going to be for a right-handed golfer, is going to be the left hand.
Or always say glove hand.
That's
Makes
correct.
it easy. So wherever your glove is, that's going to be your lead hand.
That's correct. So looking for Well, let's take a step back and say that there are 3 types of grips that golfers use. Let's start with that. Let's start with, you got the baseball grip, which is going to be 10-finger, which is no interlock, no overlap. So the next one is going to be the interlock, and then the last one is going to be the overlap, which most of your tour pros use the overlap, but if you have short fingers, it's hard to use the overlap grip.
That's right.
So and Daniel, I think you can speak to it. If you're a young kid or a lady that doesn't have a lot of strength in your forearms or in your arms, we're going to actually keep you in the 10-finger. If you're older and as you start to progress in the game, we will switch over to an overlap or an interlock. I say, about age, 10, 11, so we'll